Okay, Mr. Mayor, we are live and ready to go.
Okay, sounds good. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. This is a special meeting of the Seldovia City Council, Monday, September 9th. Excuse me, this is Tuesday. What's today? Tuesday the 9th. That's a typo. Tuesday the 9th, 2025. Time is 6:04 p.m. And we'll go ahead and do a roll call. Barber.
Here.
Let's see. Rojas is absent. Peyton.
Here.
Keithley.
Here.
And Langbart.
Here.
Okay, we have 4 out of 5 council members present, with member Rojas being excused this evening. And if you guys could lead us off in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. As we said, on excused absences, member Rojas is absent. Item D, agenda approval. We'll go ahead and look for a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion to approve tonight's agenda by Peyton, second by Langbart. Any more discussion on the agenda before we vote? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote on the approval of tonight's agenda. All those in favor, Barber,
Aye.
Rojas, or excuse me, Peyton,
Aye.
Keithley,
Aye.
and Langbart.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes with 4 in the affirmative and 1 absent. Item E, consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda are approved with a single motion, no discussion, and 1 vote. A council member may request to remove an item for discussion and a separate vote. Items removed from the consent agenda will be placed under new business. We have a couple items tonight on the consent agenda. First one is item 1, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting for August 25th, 2025. And then item 2A, ordinance 26-03 is a non-code ordinance of the City Council of the City of Seldovia, Alaska, amending the FY26 budget by appropriating funds from the Public Safety Reserve Fund for the installation of the 35 kW generator and automatic transfer switch project. And that's recommended for public hearing at our next council meeting, scheduled for 9/22/25. Does any member wish to remove any item at this time for further discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll look for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda by Peyton, second by Keithley. Any further discussion on the consent agenda before we vote? Okay, hearing none, we'll go and vote on the approval of tonight's consent agenda. All those in favor, Barber,
Aye.
Peyton,
Aye.
Keithley,
Aye.
and Langbart.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes with 4 in the affirmative and 1 absent, and that it was the approval of tonight's consent agenda. Item F, mayoral proclamations, none. Item G, public presentation prior notice. No one scheduled. That's still correct, Liz?
That's correct, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, item H, public presentations for items not on the agenda. Anybody signed up this evening?
Nobody has signed up. I'm not seeing any hands in the room.
Okay, sounds good. Committee and advisory board reports, we have none. I take it that's still correct.
That's correct still.
All right. And that'll take us to item J, administrative reports. And it sounds like the only one we're going to have tonight is the harbor written report. And that, I believe, was found in your laydown.
That should be in the regular packet, Mr.
Oh,
Mayor.
regular.
And I also wanted to know that there is a water treatment plant report in the laydown there as well.
Let's see here. Oh, you know what? I never got, okay, when I downloaded my documents, I didn't get the laydown. I just got the regular packet. Okay. Yeah, the harbor report's on page 8. And I read that over down earlier. It looks like all the typical end of season stuff is happening at the harbor. Putting stuff away, fixing lots of stuff. So basically getting set up for the winter. Looks like they got the new counter installed. Other than that, pretty much business as usual. Looks like we got some new pedestals ordered on the sea float for upcoming and maintenance items. And then a couple items for next year that we talked about for painting the outside of the office, and then looking for money for the harbor roof replacement. Anybody have any questions on the Harbor Masters report? Okay. And Liz, you said what was the other one that was added?
There's a short water treatment plant report in the laydown.
Okay, and that's in the laydown.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it looks like the laydown. Okay, I didn't get the laydown. It wasn't I normally just take them right off the website. It didn't look like it uploaded on the website.
No, I think there was a glitch in that, but I think I just fixed it. So it should be
Okay.
there.
Hey, Mr. Mayor,
Yep, go ahead.
I have a question about the water treatment report. This is really neat to see. I like getting to see the numbers. It means more when you can see them in black and white than when someone's telling you numbers. Like for me, I was wondering if you guys have like a graph or like a model that you use for the consumption that's used like in a 12 months time frame. Like,
Through the mayor, we have provided that before. I could do it again.
yeah, I feel like you have. I don't,
Yeah.
yeah, I could even just look at the one that's already existed, but I know every time I see the figures, I'm always blown away, but also, you know, water accumulates quickly.
I did through the mayor also, I included it in the city manager's report, but since we're talking about water treatment plant, I did want to let you guys know that the turbidity levels have returned to normal. So the plant is looking pretty good, going back to normal operations. And we will hope to maintain that till probably October seems to be when it starts again. But we're keeping an eye. And we are also on a list with other communities, kind of keeping an eye in the area because we're not the only ones that experience this.
And it looked like our average daily consumption of about 43,000 gallons. Looks to me, from what I recall, fairly normal for an August. You even looks a little low for an August usage, but that probably is telling me that we have like very few or no leaks in the system with that low of consumption. Would that be fair to say?
Mr. Mayor, it is more buttoned up than it's ever been. There
Yeah.
may still be leaks out there, but there are not
Certainly no big ones.
nothing new. Yeah, nothing new or significant that we're aware of at this time.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's good. That's super, super good to hear. So awesome. Okay, that's good. Anybody have any additional questions on water treatment?
I do. Did we get, through the mayor, did we end up getting, meters?
Through the mayor, yes, we do have them. We have not had time to install them and work on that. So that's something we
Okay.
need to work on this winter.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Next item, item K, public hearings, none. Item L, unfinished business, none. Item M, new business. We have item M1, Resolution 26-05, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Seldovia, Alaska, awarding the installation of the 35 kW generator and automatic transfer switch contract to Nodak Electric and Construction in the amount of $27,222 and authorizing the city manager to execute the appropriate documents. And if you want to give us a rundown on that, Heidi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this is on page 10 of your packet. This is a project, if you remember, we received a $50,000 grant from a Title III Emergency Planning and Preparedness program that was available. This is related mostly to senior meals and the senior meals program. So with that, outfitting the multi-purpose building so that in the event of an emergency or a power outage, senior meals is still able to operate and emergency operations is still able to operate. And so beneficial. This has been on our project list for a few years now. And we did utilize the majority of that grant, $37,894.03 to purchase the generator, and it's here. So we had a remainder of $12,105.97 and wanted to see how far that would get us with the installation project. And the new automatic transfer switch. Unfortunately, we only received one quote, and it was a bit over, about 15,000 over what we have available in that project fund. So that's why you saw on your consent agenda an appropriation. We are suggesting that you can take funds. You have a $50,000 reserve fund for public safety, that if you wanted to utilize those funds and take 15,000. And that's not super germane to this topic because we don't need to get into the appropriation piece tonight unless you guys want to. But just letting you guys know that that's where the remainder of the funds are coming from for this project. The other option is, and I'm just throwing this out there so you guys have it in mind for the next meeting. We did receive notice from DCRA today, or maybe it was yesterday, that our community assistance program funds have come through, and they are 22,000 more than anticipated. So they told us that that fund would be cut this year, and then we were only going to receive about 53,000, but instead we're receiving 75,000, which is about on par with what we normally receive annually. So that's a great addition to the budget. And I know that we've talked about wanting to switch that community assistance program funds so that we're not relying on them in the budget so heavily, and that they have a capital focus. So I'll present that at the next meeting as part of that ordinance if you guys want to make that switch, or have it come from the reserve, or we can button things up at the end of the year. Either way, from whatever fund it comes from. But to say that this will be a whole project, if we're able to appropriate those funds at the will of the council, and then approve this contract. And we did also get a second opinion on the proposal presented, and it was recommended that this was probably the best approach that we could do with the limited budget that we have. And it will be it's a complete project, so it will put the new switch in and do some rewiring in the building so that we're able to fully utilize that new generator to run the majority of this building. So, and that includes Seldovia space. We talked about that one as well. So with that, Mr. Mayor, if If you have any questions, please let me know. Oh, and I will follow up the time frame for this. So these funds have to be obligated by the end of September or they go away. And then also the automatic transfer switch. So this would obligate the funds. That automatic transfer switch is a 6 to 8 week time frame just to get it ordered and procured. So looking at a winter project to get this done. There's a little bit of cement work that needs to be done to expand the pad. We're looking at options to do that locally with an ongoing project that's pouring cement actively at this point. So that should help. That should be a minimal cost to the city to get that done. So that's what I have. Huh? The pad that's under the existing generator, because our new generator is a little bit bigger, and so it has to be 6 inches from all sides of the generator, and then be able to carry an additional, however many. Yeah, I think it was like 100 and I can't remember what it was. It was a lot more, 110, 100,000. I don't know. It was a lot. Yeah. So with that, Mr. Mayor, if you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay, sounds good. We'll go ahead and open it up to council for any comments or questions on resolution 26-05.
My question is, the generator that's in place now, is it in op, or what's the reason for replacement? It's not adequate, or?
Through the mayor, it has some bugs. It has some issues with starting up and operating, and it can't hold the whole load of this building.
Okay. And what size generator is it?
I would have to double check.
Okay.
I have to have that off the top of my head.
You've got a purchase price of 37, almost 38,000 for the new generator.
We already purchased it.
You already purchased it.
Yeah, and that includes freight.
And then you got 27,000 for installation.
Correct.
Have we got any other prices on the installation? I mean, I know the concrete pad, and is that for removing the other generator? Is that including removing the other generator and putting a new pad in this installation price? Or is that just after we have the pad, they're going to charge us 27,000 to plug it in?
Through the mayor. So that it does not include the removal of the generator and the pad. That'll be done in-house through the city. It does include the purchase of an automatic transfer switch and rewiring of the breaker box in here, as well as in Seldovia space, to ensure that it can carry that the generator can operate the spaces.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may add to that, I know that the majority of that cost, probably over 12,000, is just the materials. Because I spoke to Chris about this, because he was looking at this project, and he had said there was no way that he could come in at that 12,000 even without travel costs, because that would barely cover just the material cost, and that this, in his eyes, with their bid, was a really good deal for the project and what was going to get done with it.
Yeah. Chris feels that price is a good price. Okay.
And Heidi, does that include them setting the new generator in place then? Or do we have to have the new generator already set in place?
We're going to do that work. That was part of the original agreement with the original RFP that we put out. So you have to remember, this is a second run. The first one was for the full project and the purchase of the generator, and it was, double our budget, well and beyond. So instead we purchased the generator separately and then are utilizing the remainder of the funds for the installation.
Okay, so when they show up, then the new gen will be in place. Then they'll have to install the new install the new transfer switch, and then do all the wiring and the whole bit. So
yes.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody else have any questions for the city manager on resolution 26-05? Okay, and just to keep it straight, this resolution is simply authorizing the award, and then 2603 on the consent agenda, that's where the money, the additional monies are appropriated from, so. All right, if there's no additional questions, we'll go to the public. Anybody from the public wish to weigh in on resolution 26-05?
I'm not seeing any hands, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, we'll go ahead and bring resolution 26-05 back to the council for final action.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve. I lost my words there.
Resolution 2605,
Resolution 2605. Thanks, folks.
perfect. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion to approve resolution 26-05 by Peyton. We have a second by Keithley. Any further discussion on the approval of resolution 26-05 before we vote? Okay, hearing none, we'll go ahead and vote on the approval of resolution 26-05. All those in favor, Barber,
Aye.
Peyton,
Aye.
Keithley,
Aye.
and Langbart.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes with 4 in the affirmative and 1 absent. All right, takes care of item M1. Item N, city manager's report. And Heidi, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, myself and Councilmember Barber did attend the morning sessions for the CIRCAC meeting that was here in town last Friday. There's some pretty neat representatives from around the peninsula, the Coast Guard, some people from Cook Inlet Spill Prevention and Response, and just overall fairly well attended event, I thought, and some interesting content. And Councilmember Barber gave a great introduction, so that was fun to see. One piece of news to share from that meeting is that CISPRI is changing their name and expanding their service beginning January 1st, 2026. And I'm gonna mess it up. He told me it was Alaska Response Cooperative Corporation. That's what it is. So that they'll still have their focus in the Cook Inlet, but they want to be able to offer more services down the chain and up the western coast of Alaska. So they're gonna. It sounds like they want to, beef up their inventory and look at some other ports and spots where they can have response items placed and just provide more of a service throughout Alaska for the areas that aren't. There are, like, Prince William Sound's well covered, Southeast well covered, but helping support some of the other areas that aren't as well covered. That was kind of neat to hear. Jackalope Bay Uplands, I'm excited to say the final finding and decision is ready for signature and finalization. They were waiting because we had an invoice to so that was paid. So once they receive that, they will sign that decision and we can move forward with the authorization for the uplands. With that, I have been in communication with Alaska Department of Transportation. We do have a new regional planner and spoke with him a few times over the last couple of weeks. Been pretty receptive so far, so we hope that keeps up. And he is aware of our request to have Alaska DOT help out with the cleanup at Jackalope, and then as well as for the permission to replace the inlets on Main Street. So hoping he wanted some additional documentation. I provided that and hoping that we'll have a positive outcome there. I did want to provide a not so pleasant update regarding Jackalope Bay Dock project. This AEA, the environmental assessment, is kicking our butts, and I've been hearing for a month that it's going to be here this week. It's going to be here this week. It's going to be here this week. I heard today that it's going to be here this week. So I know it's a big, heavy lift, and there's a lot in it. I'm hoping that we really do hear it this week. However, it puts us in a precarious situation because that means MARAD doesn't get it till potentially this week. And they want a 2-month review process for it, which means grant agreement signed in November at the earliest. We can issue the RFP as we're going through that grant agreement process. So October or November for that infrastructure, and then float installation, we've been told, is an 8-month float installation. So it really eats into that summer construction season next year and could potentially push the project into 2027. They're aware that we are not happy with that and that weather is not on our side. Time and weather are not on our side. So we're still hoping there was going to be some calls made to the float manufacturers to see what their timeframes are looking like now. But we are really hoping that there will be some grace and we'll be able to get the project done next summer. So I'm pretty disappointed.
Hey, Heidi.
Yes.
I will call you after the meeting. There is possibly a couple things we can look at to get those floats locked in once we have the float design.
Yeah.
I'll call you offline and we'll talk a little bit about that. Just
Yeah.
there's a couple different approaches we could take to see. I mean, that's going to be the big thing, is if we can get in the queue, then we could cut off a whole bunch of time here. So
Yeah, that would be great. I think that's kind of where we're going with it right now. So
and it may involve a little risk on the city's part, but we could talk about that.
okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So also, let's see, raw water transmission line replacement project update. We did have a couple of requests to extend the closing date for that RFP. We did extend it to September 12th. Since then, we've had a couple of additional visits. We've had quite a bit of interest. I think we've got 4 or 5 firms looking at it at this point. And so anticipate having a few proposals submitted on Friday, and then after reviewing that, potentially a resolution recommending awarding a contract could be presented at the September 22nd meeting. So it's very exciting. Hope that those turn out well. The Rural Tribal Assistance Program opened on Monday morning. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about this, or if I did talk about it. It was AML helped us draft language for the project, for 2 projects. That was the historic boardwalk improvements, permitting and design, and the waterfront boardwalk planning project. And the deal with the project, I haven't seen them done this way before, but though I know that there are others that do it, is it was first come, first serve, and the portal opened. You couldn't access the portal beforehand. So the portal opened at 10 a.m. Monday, and it was like, you get it and you get it in as fast as possible. So finance officer Yeager and myself made sure that we were available. We got both projects in within 5 minutes, and we're hoping that we get some good responses from it. That waterfront boardwalk planning project could potentially take us to 35% of preliminary engineering and design, as well as help with some easements. It'd be the conceptual, then it would be engineering and design, and then also working on permitting and easements. So that would be kind of neat to see. The historic boardwalk is engineering and design and permitting. So just some of those things that we need if we want to pursue future funding for either project. That was in partnership, as I said, with AML, with their grant writing services. I was very pleased that they sent out an email recently that says that the members that are involved in the grant writing service, or for those members, AML will write a minimum of 3 grants a year. So a little bit of a language shift there. We're happy to see it. And they're also continue to seek those opportunities for us. So there's another set of eyes knowing what our project priorities are. They're looking out for those projects. Right now, we had them looking out for the dam, for the boardwalk, and for the value added building. But if you guys have other projects that you want to prioritize as we talk about the CIP, please let me know, because that's, we want to get the biggest bang for our buck. So it's nice to kind of have an idea of the CIPs so that if there are things that fit, sometimes that works better. If there are things that fit that they can work on for us, but it's helpful to know where you guys as a body want the majority of our energy expended. So please let me know if you have ideas on that. Also, comprehensive plan. So the draft plan was presented to the Planning Commission at their September 3rd meeting. We are awaiting some additional feedback from that commission, and that will be incorporated into the document, and hoping to share that with the City Council September 22nd. I don't know if you guys are available for a work session, but it might be nice to have a dedicated hour to go through that plan. And then once your guys' feedback is incorporated, we'll open it up for a public comment period. And it was suggested by a member of the public that with that, we hold several sessions on the plan, on the specific pillars of the plan, so that if people are interested in, housing or transportation or resilience or whatever section that somebody might have an interest in, that they could come and discuss that during that time. So talking with City Clerk Diamond and myself, that's a good suggestion. We're open to trying that format and having a couple of meetings in November and December and seeing who shows up and if we can get additional comments on the plan, because we want it to be informed by the public and written by the public. So just letting you guys know that that'll be a few more public comment opportunities before it's finalized, but hoping that you're available that September 22nd to do a review. And we talked about potential projects for the capital improvement plan. That's for the 2026-2031 period. And we also presented to that project list to the Seldovia Planning Commission at their September 3rd meeting. They reviewed the projects in general, as well as looking at their alignment with the draft comprehensive plan. So trying to make sure that we work with those documents in tandem. And we are hoping to have a draft to you guys in October. It probably makes the most sense to wait until after elections, if you guys are okay with that. Since the first meeting in October will be elections, and then having a new sitting board, we know we'll have at least 2 new members, so that they can be caught up and part of that discussion. KPBSD pool update. If you haven't heard, the school district had a meeting last night, the education board, and they amended the budget and put the money for the pool back in. So it's at a reduced rate. It's what we asked for. We're saying we didn't need the whole chunk that they had in there from the beginning. But that is, it's good news. So hopefully that means that position will get posted really soon, and we can move forward and have the pool this season, this school year. And they also discussed that they would like to write a resolution to the borough recommending a task force, or at least the beginning of a discussion about the transition of these assets within the borough. So that hopefully will come about, and there'll be a bigger discussion in general about pools next year, because they sounded pretty serious about not wanting to fund any of them. They also put a few other things back in the budget. So, athletics and some aids and things. So seemed like a very happy, well, not happy is not the right word, but it was a very positive meeting.
Hey, Heidi, what was that a function of the veto for the legislative veto putting on the governor's plan, or what prompted this? Where did the extra money come from? Was there other cuts elsewhere, or was that a function purely of the veto?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That was a function.
Override, I guess. Yeah.
Yep. So that was the additional funds. They put about 2 million, I think it was 1.8 back in the budget because of the governor's override. or
Okay.
the vetoes override, sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Nope. Sounds good.
Quick public works update. I know they weren't able to provide a report, but just wanted to let you guys know that the insulation project has been completed. It looks so good in there and it's quieter. It's amazing. You walk in and it's quieter and warmer already. So excited to see what kind of energy efficiency we get out of that over this winter. That was pretty exhausting work for a couple of weeks for our crew, and then the crew hired came in and they just did a great job. I mean, really knocked it out. So that was great. Hazmat barge was here. We are still await the arrival of the new hooks for the pickup room. Upcoming projects was still on our list to do. The city storage yard across from our actual yard, road maintenance, installing a new booster pump, and now pouring a pad for the generator. So they're busy. I'm really thankful that we have 2.5 members of the Public Works Department, because they are going all the time. So I'm really thankful we've had that opportunity this summer. Speaking of Public Works adjacent, the SPD truck is having some weird wiring electrical issues. It's having several computer errors. There's an issue with the parking brake and four-wheel drive not engaging properly, and an electrical draw that needs to be sourced. So, in speaking with the VPSO, some Public Works, sounds like it might be worth sending it over to Homer and having a company look at an automotive repair company look at it over there. We're able to do the brake pads and things here. We actually do quite a bit. That maintenance crew is pretty fantastic with vehicles, but you guys know that these vehicles have some extra bells and whistles because of the electronics required for policing. So hoping maybe to send it over this Thursday. If not, then on an upcoming ferry. We got a couple of quotes to look at that, and we have money in the budget for it because we have funds available for gas for this year. And I heard from Michael Nemeth through the VPSO program there at APIA that they actually put money in their budget for gas this year. So we will invoice them for the gas that's used, and then we can use those funds to fix up the truck. You guys heard that the pedestrian counter was installed. Everything else, I think we've pretty much covered. Please let me know if you have questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Heidi. Anyone have any additional questions or comments on the manager's report tonight? All right, sounds good. Thank you, Heidi. Appreciate all the information. Item O, informational items not requiring action. The first one is the logic and accuracy testing for voting machines used in the October 7th general election will be conducted by the Kenai Peninsula Borough starting this Wednesday, tomorrow, September 10th through Friday, September 12th. And the testing is open to the public. If anybody has any questions or concerns and would like to observe that in person. Item O2, in-person absentee voting for the October 7th election will be available starting September 22nd, 2025 at the city offices. Item P, executive session, none. Item Q, council and mayor comments concerning items not on the agenda. Barber.
What's the question?
Do you have any comments, Brian?
Question or comments, Jack?
No.
Okay, Peyton.
None tonight. Thank you.
Keith Lee.
Nothing this evening.
Okay, and Langbart.
No comment. Thank you, Heidi, for all the hard work you've been doing and the reports. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. All right, our next meeting will be a regular meeting, will be held on Monday, September 22nd, and it sounds like we will also have a work session prior to that with the planning, if I heard that correctly earlier.
On the comprehensive plan, the draft comprehensive plan, Mr. Mayor.
Yep, correct. All right, sounds good. With that, I will look for a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn by Langbart and a second by Peyton. Any objections? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, you guys have a good night.